look.
Public service international unions are actively engaged in a campaign aimed at enhancing the delivery of the public services in the domains of the electricity, water and waste management by urging employers to collaborate and take decisive actions to rectify inefficiency within the public service sector. Dr. Evelyn Akage from the Public Service International emphasized during the meeting that the government of Uganda must enforce the national policy on the waste management to combat environmental issues and address the increasing public apprehension regarding the waste management, which ultimately impacts the water and the electricity sectors.
But also it also impacts other services like electricity, health sector, among others. Now, in terms of the water sector, we must applaud the government of Uganda that national waters was not privatized. So unlike the sector of electricity and waste, water sector is still a little bit safe, and that's why I find that national water and sewerage is giving more returns compared to other sectors, because they allowed the workers themselves to be able to run the services by themselves. However, when it comes to waste management, we still want to call upon the government of Uganda.
Dr. Evelyn emphasized the urgent need for the government at both national and the local levels to prioritize the well-being of the population and the environment in light of the detrimental efforts caused by the conventional solid waste management practices. It is crucial for the organizations to adopt sustainable measures that prevent or minimize adverse environmental impacts. This includes addressing the issues related to biological and manufacturing wastes, as well as hazardous liquid and other dangerous wastes.
For instance, recently the government of Uganda, and we must applaud them for that, decided not to renew the concession for ESCOM. And you also know they're not going to renew the concession for. But from the discussion of the research, it was clearly found out that when UMEME was privatized in 2005, there was actually a sharp increase of price per unit of power from 240 shillings to over 850 shillings. Without putting other fluctuations like adjustment for forex exchange, adjustment for talk about other losses, among others. Now we realize that every time private sectors come into a sector, their major aim is to maximize profits. A good case study which came out from the research was actually waste management. It was noted that many of the companies concentrate on high-end or high-rise neighborhood. For instance, in Kampala, they have specific zoning where big companies actually only go where they're able to collect money. A household is actually charged between 30,000 and 50,000 for garbage collection. But when it comes to slums, you don't realize that they don't give them the same services.
According to some SPI members, the government of Uganda needs to implement the International Labour Organization Convention Law Act, which was signed by the government to combat domestic violence at workplaces.
We have been pushing. We pushed very much for the ratification of C190. As a team, you remember, PSI was at the forefront. And eventually Uganda ratified the convention. So when we ratify, we don't stop there. We must make sure we domesticate, we include violence and harassment in our laws. And they are saying the best law to host violence and harassment is the Occupational Health and Safety Act.
The human-produced waste remains a major environmental concern globally, marking solid waste management a very crucial factor in the development of the cities due to the increased pollution. Story compiled by Rita Nandera for Uganda Family TV, News at 8.